Hi folks, and welcome to this episode of Michael's Backyard Marina. To keep the YouTube channel going and keep things moving and try to get as many videos out there, quality videos out there as I can, I usually have several projects going at the same time. And filming when I have to order parts and I have to wait on parts and do things in between. So as you can see, I'd have to have several projects going. I got a couple of motors going at the same time, the boat project, swim platform project, and a little project for my wife. We have a little koi pond out in the backyard, and I do apologize for the howling of the windmill on my building. It's generating some electricity for us today. We've got 20 to 25 mile an hour winds all day. Then when I started doing this project yesterday, it was much nicer out. It was about 65 and no wind, but as luck would have it, I had to run to the store, get some parts. Today I want to finish it up and get it going. We have a little koi pond, as you might have seen in some other videos, and I'm putting a new waterfall effect on it. We have a waterfall, but we wanted to go a different route, primarily because the filter system we had in place had a little dog house we made, little tiny house. We put the filter inside, and it was one of those you had to unhook the hoses, unclamp it, clean the filters, put it all back together, reassemble every time. It was very painful to do. So this waterfall one we bought, it was on Amazon. I'll put a link down below as to what I ordered. It is a waterfall that pumps that water from the bottom, fills up through the top, or through the filters, and then spills over to a nice wide waterfall effect. So let me show you what it looks like. So here's the plastic container. Now I don't have all the other filters and stuff. There's filters that go down in here. We'll get to that in a bit when we get outside. But as you can see here, it's going to fill up through a hole back here, fill this container up through the filters and spill out the front, and then it can just cascade down into the pond. It's for filtration and for aeration. The other cool part is you can get a fake stone that sits on top of here, and that way, excuse me, when it comes time to change the filters, you just pull a bar out here, reach in, grab the filters, rinse them out, and put them back in. You don't have to disassemble anything. You don't even have to stop it. I don't think you'd even have to stop it from pumping and going. Just let it go and go from there. So we got some fittings here we're going to put on the back and get this thing plumbed up and get it in place. Here we have the piece that goes into the lower part of the waterfall. This is where your connection's made. So on the outside here, I've got an adapter. This is an 1.5" pipe thread. So I had to get an 1.5" adapter down to 1.25" thread here that would go to an 1.25" pipe, because that's what the pipe we're using off our pump is, 1.25". So this one will screw into here, and this one will screw into here, like so. Oops. And then we'll tighten it down really tight so that it seals off. And then we'll stick this through the container. This has a rubber gasket on the inside with a ring that goes on the outside. It's a hard ring. Works like a washer. And then we've got this plastic nut that will put pressure against that ring and tighten up that, that will tighten up against there and put the pressure on this rubber here and seal it up from leaking. And this is weird because these are left-hand threads. Look here, lefty-loosey, or lefty-tighty, righty-loosey here. So we'll get that. We'll get this tightened up, and then we'll get this installed. to go ahead and apologize now for the wind noise. I'm going to see if I can squash it in editing and put some music in there. So there won't be a lot of talking when the installation's on the outside, but you'll get the idea of it. We basically got the hose hooked onto the back of the container now, hose clamp in place. We're going to set the waterfall container in position, and then we're going to run the hose around and figure out how much length of hose I need to hang the pump like we normally have been in the past into the water. And we'll probably fire it up and fill the tank up a little bit to kind of help stabilize and put some weight in it. And then I'm going to hook the rubber around the front lip. There's a little piece there that has screws that go in and hook the rubber up around the front lip, so that it does decide to wick back underneath the lip a little bit. And we're going to try to avoid that by tipping it forward just a touch. But that will keep the water inside the pond and not let it pump it outside the pond. So let's go outside in what I would feel like is almost hurricane-like conditions. Like I said, 20 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts happening right now. So you're going to see us fighting that a little bit. You might even see my hat blow off my head. I don't know. So stay tuned. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can muscle through this today before the rain hits and the storms hit, because I want to get this thing filtering, and I want to get the more aeration happening in the pond, because I've got some, I've got koi that's well over a foot long in this. I got about 6, 7 koi in here that are well over a foot long in this pond. And I want to get the water clean, and I want to get the waterfall feature going because it just looks nice. I decided to put in a new pump. This is the type of pump I've been using for several years now. They do not recommend it as a submersible pump for ponds and whatnot. I go ahead and replace mine every year. They last about a year, maybe a little over a year and a half. They're about $65 versus a $250, $350 pond pump. So I can't recommend this one, but I will say this is one that I use. Now basically, this is the whole assembly in a nutshell. So as you can see here, we have the hose connected there, and we got it going around and up and to the pump. And this is an 1.25 inch hose. So I've got an 1.25 inch adapter with a hose barb on each end, so I can put it on there and clamp it so it stays firmly in place. Now let's go install this in the pond and get the front end connected up so that the water does not leak back behind the spillway or the waterfall. Well, now that didn't turn out too bad. Now we're filtering. I got the filters in and it's filtering. I still got to get some bio balls. There's a bag that came with it, the kit that has, you got to buy these bio balls, which help hold good bacteria. And those go in the very bottom, then the filters, and then the top layer. But I think I'm going to get one of those fake stones that go on top here, and that'll complete the ensemble, I think. But I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Well, folks, I'm going to call that a wrap for the waterfall feature. My wife will get out there and she'll do some other little decorative stuff. She'll put some more rocks in certain places and she'll rearrange it, but it's set up for her to do her thing now. I really like how it turned out. It's pretty neat how water cascades over a wide area with that waterfall feature. Like I said again, I got that particular thing off of Amazon. I'll put a link to the description down below. I'm not sponsored by them, but or I don't get anything for you going and buying it either. So it's your own free will if you decide that's what you want. But you can see how this one works, and you can see what something similar to it how it would act. And but I had a good time. You can hear that wind. I picked the worst day I could ever pick to try to work on that. It's like 47 degrees. It's 25 to 30 mile an hour wind gust. It's wicked out there. But I got it done. Now I can come back inside, into the warm shop and work on some other projects. I did have a package come in the mail today, which was the Mercury 4 horsepower carb kit and fuel pump kit. So I'll be putting that back together hopefully this afternoon. And if the wind dies down, I'll get outside and I might start this thing up and see if it'll run again. But I appreciate you folks watching. Get out there and do something fun. Would I call what I did today fun? No, but it was getting something done. And I got to share it with all my YouTube fans out there. And whether it's what you like or don't like, that's not for me to decide. But I enjoyed doing it. It looks neat. It needed done. Needed a better filter system in that pond for years, and now we have it. Once I get the bio balls in there, it'll do better. The cool part about this is all you gotta do is unplug it, lift the things off the top, you get all the filters out, clean them, put them back in. I don't have to disassemble, or my wife don't have to disassemble a entire filter assembly, which is a pain in the butt. We'll see how this works out as the summer progresses. Like I said, we got some big koi in there, and I want to be able to see them at other points in time when we're not just feeding them and they come up and eat the floating food. So get out there and do something fun, folks. Enjoy life. Enjoy every minute of it. Enjoy every minute of it. And Michael,